Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to turn everyone's chat on so that you can let us know where you're joining from. Please, in the chat, tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and we'll get started in just a minute. I don't know about you all. I am on the East Coast. I'm in South Carolina, and it is mid 60s today, which for us is like wintertime. So I'm excited.
Well, here in Oregon, Washington, it's the perfect fall weather. It's super cold, crispy in the morning, and then warms up in the day. All the leaves have changed colors. It really is my favorite time of the year.
All right, so we'll let a few more folks come on in. I'm going to go ahead and start our presentation here. While we're getting that fired up, I just wanted to let everyone know that the goal of today's webinar is to really kind of do something that Amanda and I really are excited about and always love to do, which is talk about the things that we believe make us unique and the things that make ACHS as a whole special to our students and our graduates and our alumni. So hopefully you'll be able to see that if you're considering coming to school here or you're already enrolled. Just maybe you'll learn something new about how we think about our institution and the students that we work with. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So um, Amanda and I will be kind of walking through everything today. I'm the director of enrollment management. So I kind of do a lot of the computer stuff on the side. And then Amanda, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Director of Enrollment Services, and I actually have been with ACHS next month, officially 12 years. And honestly, after college, got into higher ed, and this is where my heart is. And I work with the full admissions team and with students every day just to support you through the admissions process, and helping the team support you as well through the full admissions acceptance and enrollment process. So glad to be here with y'all.
Yeah. So we're always super thrilled to talk about our offerings and how we influence our students' lives every day. So this is what we're going to talk through today. And before I jump into that, I just want to kind of give a quick overview. Um, you've probably noticed that your line is muted, but we still want to have you all chime in if you have a question along the way. Um, Use the chat for that. And if you would just make sure that you're set to chat with everyone instead of just host and panelists. That way everybody can see your question and the response. So um, we'll jump in here. So you're seeing a photo here. That's our main building in Portland, Oregon. But one of the things that we're going to be talking about a lot today is the fact that ACHS from the beginning has been a distance education organization. So even before the internet and before online schools were a thing, we were set up to be a distance education system, and that opening up this offering to everyone across the world who wants to be a part of it. So, but that's our building there. Where sort of the central hub of everything. We're going to talk about community a little bit. That's one of the things that you're going to hear a lot today is our philosophy on community, and how that develops from beginning to end and even beyond your program here with us. That's something that's very important, to setting an online school apart. We don't want you to feel like you're just a part of a course. We want you to feel like you're a part of a class, have interactions with everyone. So we'll talk about how that happens. Another thing that's very important to us, and we're always striving to perfect, is experiential and practical learning. And we're going to talk about what that means. Some of you may already know what that means, but how do we put it in play? What are the things that we do here at ACHS to make learning experiential and practical, with the outcome being that it stays with you and you get more out of it.
Mhm.
We're also going to talk about our faculty and staff a little bit because they are really the the jewels in the crown, so to speak. They are the ones that make everything really, really what it is. Experts in their field, um, you know, experienced educators in online education. We're always seeking out the folks that have the most influence out there in the holistic health and wellness world to come teach our classes and be a part of what we do here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about student-focused support resources. In an online environment, it can be sometimes difficult to make sure everybody is taken care of, but we're going to look at the resources and the teams that really spend their whole day making sure that our students are taken care of. So without any further ado, we're going to jump into some of that stuff. If you don't know already, I've touched on it a little bit already, but we've been around for over 45 years now. Some people don't realize that. Our school was founded, we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but founded in New Zealand 45 years ago. And since then, we've served over 10,000 students and graduates in over 60 countries. So that tells you a little bit right there about our goal and mission and vision of influencing the whole world in holistic health. As I mentioned, we specialize in online distance education. So because of that, we were very careful in pursuing our accreditation with an accreditor that focuses on that and can not only make sure that we are up to standards for online education, but also that we can learn from and have, interaction with to get best practices on how do we make this experience better every year for our students. So we're proud to have partnered with Distance Education Accrediting Commission since 2003. And we get reviewed on a regular basis to make sure everything is up to standards and have a great relationship with them. Another thing that's sort of outside of the education part of things is our focus on maintaining our certified B Corp status. And if you're not sure about what that means, it basically is a set of standards that companies can apply to and provide evidence that they are focused on people and the planet more than profit. So that's something that's very important to us that we'll talk a little bit about the importance of our students and our faculty and our staff being out in their communities and sort of being representatives out there wherever you are. So we want to make sure that we're leading to a better planet than we inherited. And then lastly, we've grown from our beginnings of just a couple of different courses all the way up to where we are now, from non-degree programs like certificates and diplomas all the way through our accredited degree programs, associate's degrees, bachelor's, master's degrees, and all the way up down to our doctorate program. And even beyond that, we have on the other side of the scale, our micro credentials and CE credits that people can take on their own speed without having to go through the admissions process. So as many ways as possible to get people this information, we want to have that as a springboard here. So let's talk a little bit about our mission and vision. So we like to touch on this in every one of our webinars, and really we talk about it in every one of our meetings internally as well, just to make sure that it stays top of mind. But our mission is to lead the advancement of evidence-based integrative health and wellness education through experiential online learning and sustainable practices. So you'll notice that experiential online learning is right there in our mission. So that is something we're always going to be focused on developing and perfecting. Our vision of the world, once we achieve our mission, is that integrative health and wellness education is accessible to a global community promoting sustainable and healthy futures for all. So that's a little insight into our value system. It's not just about learning some stuff and taking some tests. It's about actually, taking this information out into your community and impacting the world around you and creating a healthier future for our world. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, I'm going to have Amanda jump in here a little bit because I've been talking a lot, but we're going to talk about what we think of as the community timeline. So we know from talking with students for years and years that there is always a different um, connotation with online education from student to student based on what they've done in the past or what they've heard. But a lot of times that perception is that you just hop on and take a class, read through something, take a test, and then you turn in your assignments. And that is true a lot of places, and especially since 2020 during the pandemic, when so many schools had to take their classes online, but without really a plan of how to do it, it led to a lot of online offerings out there that are that sort of leave it up to the student to figure things out on their own and not really feel like they're a part of an institution. So even before that, that's something that we've always wanted to cultivate, not just in the class or during your time as a student, but from the very beginning all the way till after you leave us. So we're going to look at what goes with that. So first and foremost is what Amanda and I focus on all the time, which is from the time of your initial interest in our school through the admissions process. That's where the bringing you into the community starts. So Amanda, do you want to talk a little bit about, how you work with students and how you sort of bring them into the community of ACHS?
Love to. So from the very beginning, we take a very student-centric approach. We want to be truly the best resource and advocate for each person we work with from the very first time we talk with you. So each student, when you call us, email us, maybe you started out by being on the website, you submitted a quick form saying, I have some more questions. You're going to work with someone one-on-one that's going to actually get to know you, your story, your goals. And we want to help take all those puzzle pieces, those little bits of information, your academic background, your, where you've been, where you want to go, and help you actually choose the program that's going to be the best fit for you. Sometimes students have done a lot of research and they're right on track. But honestly, a majority of my students are like, I know I have a passion in this area, but how do I get there? So that's what we're doing, is really just getting you tons of information and helping you put the full picture together to get headed towards the right program to fit your needs and goals. And with all the different types of programs we offer, we can help you determine what's going to be a good fit, even short term and long term, as you work through your goals. Also, through the admissions process, your advisor is there to support you through collecting your application materials, helping you order transcripts. Once you're formally accepted, we work with the registrar's office on your behalf to get all of your transcripts reviewed for transfer of credit. We help you schedule one-on-one appointments with our financial aid office as needed. We also are there to support students with any type of alternative funding and paperwork they need. VA benefits, state-based programs like Voc Rehab, tuition assistance and reimbursement through your employers, tribal benefits. There can be a lot of paperwork that has to be pulled together so a student has access to those benefits for their schooling. So we're really there to continue, not just in the beginning, but literally be your best friend through the entire process, and then get you to that point where you are accepted, funding is secured, you have an academic plan and schedule, and help you actually get enrolled in classes. So we're there to, just, I guess, repeating myself, be a resource and advocate every step of the way so you're not alone. And if there's something we can't individually support you with, we're going to get you to the person who can. And that's, for example, like making an appointment with the program deans, connecting with the VA department one-on-one. We're going to get you there so we always can get everything resolved and your questions answered.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to kind of expand on that a little bit,
Mhm.
I've had students tell me before, they've never been to a school before where they had access to a program dean before they became a student. It was more like once you're a student and once you've kind of started your classes, maybe you can get an appointment with the dean if you have questions. But our deans are so involved with the development of our programs and they love what they do so much.
Mhm.
They're just they're just happy to share that information with anyone. So if somebody is showing interest in, becoming a practitioner or just, taking this information into their lives, they want to help with that. So a
Mhm.
lot of times if it's very specific about the field, Amanda and the team may not have that, but we have access to these folks and they're happy to meet with everyone. Same thing on the financial side of things. We have
Mhm.
um, every different shade on the spectrum of how to cover the investment of your education. We have people that tell us every day, I do not want anything to do with federal aid, loans, anything like that. Is there a way that I can just set up a payment plan and just pay as I go? Absolutely. Then there are other people that, I don't have that option. I need to utilize federal aid. Well, we're an accredited institution. We can help you with that. Um, and
Mhm.
our financial aid advisors are great at what they do and kind of walking through what's the best way to set this up
Mhm.
because it's not the same for everyone. And then even in the middle of that, we have students that I'm not going to be able to pay out of pocket for all of my tuition need, but I want to do as much as I can and then cover the rest with other options. So putting together those options is something that if you can't figure that out, then you're not going to continue on as a part of the community. So we want to explore every avenue with you, even if it takes a little bit longer. So hopefully, if you haven't done that process yet, that you'll see how valuable that is to focus on your financial wellness as well as your physical wellness.
I think what stands out for me from being, I even taught public speaking. So I've touched on teaching, I've worked for university and colleges. Everyone is invested in you and your goals from the beginning. And you see it through people's attitudes, how they support you, and your access to all the departments and people that care. Like the program deans, they're your biggest cheerleader before you even know they exist. So it's something that we're really proud of. And, it's something I really makes me just gives you the warm fuzzies because we're treating people right. So.
Absolutely. Moving on a little bit further into, once you have completed the enrollment process up front, we've gotten all the questions answered and found the right combination of things to make this make sense for you. Then you become a student, and which is, what everybody knows is like the next step in the community. But that's a big step, and it's also the most time that you'll spend in this process, completing your education with us. So we want to make sure that just like you have a one-on-one person to reach out to and work with in admissions, that continues on all the way through. So you
Mhm.
not just access to a student success department, but a student success advisor that you would work with
Mhm.
individually if you have questions about what classes do I need to take for next semester, or the classes that I'm planning to take for next semester, I have questions if I can modify a little bit. Those are people are
Mhm.
going to be able to help with that. And then, beyond that, we want to make sure that your mental state and your mental health is also upheld because this can be a very stressful process. A lot of our students are, working or their parents or both, and they're juggling a lot of different things. And sometimes it's helpful just to have somebody to talk to if you're, having a hard time. So we want to be that resource for you as well. And we also have some other resources we'll talk about beyond just our staff that can be a place to turn for that as well. That's very important. Is when you're taking on something this important that you have all the bases covered for support.
Mhm.
Um,
And this is my favorite part because you're not on a campus where you can head into different buildings, right? So we want you to know your student success advisor is there for you all the way through graduation for all the reasons Troy just mentioned. Schedule changes to the hard stuff. You have your instructors are not just your professor. They're even your primary tutor. They're going to help you. They can make one-on-one appointments. Your classmates, you quickly realize how everyone is there to support each other in the classrooms. Um, our Facebook group has gotten huge the past like 5 years. So we only, our student services is the moderator because we don't want people who are not students, alumni, graduates, or faculty staff in there. So it stays a really great environment, no spam. So I see students sharing their business web pages, asking for advice on choosing electives with each other, giving feedback on experiences in the field. So it's become an amazing community builder for students to support each other overall. And then our peer tutoring center, fantastic. It has just gotten blown out of the water the last couple of years. We trialed it and it was so successful. So we have peer tutors for all of our for undergrad and graduate studies. And then that leads into the writing center help and access to our librarian both on campus and our librarian options to talk to real humans if you're doing homework at 2 in the morning. They put together all kinds of seminars. For example, this coming next week, we have a whole seminar series on stress management. Because the fact is, this is your passion, you have goals, but life happens. So how can we give back and provide some tools as you're going through school? And the timely care takes place as sort of our health department on campus. So students get complete access to timely care, which provides everything from health and wellness coaching for free, counseling and therapy, access to nurse and doctor appointments. They have some really cool apps and tools, like something as simple as reminding you to take breaks if you've been in front of your computer too long. So students have loved having 24/7 access through that app as well.
Mhm. I like the meditation classes they have on there. There's some that are 5 minutes long, and sometimes that's all you need. But stuff like that, we're a health and wellness school, so if we're not thinking about the health and wellness in all aspects of our students, then we're missing something. So this is not only something that our students have access to, but the staff and faculty as well. So it's a great resource. I think, something you said, Amanda, was a good point. We don't have these different buildings that you can go into or different offices you can go into, but we try to think about like how would that work if we were a brick and mortar institution? So having all of those bases covered. And I think what we're showing here is that not only do we want to cover those bases, but we want to do it really well by giving such close access to all these support resources. Then moving on from there, so you know, throughout your program, we want to encourage, career planning from the very beginning because for most of our students, that's a goal of theirs to move out of this school into either another program or into a business that they have planned, or maybe they're already working in a similar field and want to add this to their
Mhm.
skill set. We want to be supporting that from the early stages, not just right before graduation. So that community of career planning is also something we want to encourage. So from the beginning, right when you become a student, we encourage you to be in contact with Felicia, our director of career services, to start introducing yourself and talking to her about, here are my plans, so that she has that information building along with you throughout your course of study. And if you have support needs along the way, like for example, some of our students, they're not, they may not graduate till next year sometime, but they have a need to they need to work now. So if we have any, leads on companies that we're partnered with that might be hiring, we want to get that into the hands of our students so that they have access to that, and help you with your resume so that you can be balancing your school time with work time and kind of close the loop there. So we don't like to think about that as just something you do at the end, but something you do all the way through. Uh,
Yeah, and that includes y'all who want to be entrepreneurs.
mhm,
A large majority of our students are not always looking for traditional employment. So if you have small or big business goals, Felicia will start working with you on those from the first month you're in school because
mhm,
we'd rather support you and put some goals and mileposts in place to help you accomplish those so you're not feeling stressed at graduation time. Um, we have full support from that department. And this is also, once you're a graduate alumni, they're always available as well. So it's not a one-time thing. They want to really, again, just another source of cheerleaders behind you. But I know Felicia does practice interviews, helps with resumes, updating LinkedIn, um, being creative in your job search because it can be hard to be like, I don't see job postings for quote unquote an herbalist, for example. So how do you find the jobs that you're interested in? So you have full access to those experts and professionals. So we want you
mhm.
to use it and have that and feel that support.
That's right. And many of our instructors that teach with us are also working in the field. So this is not all they do. They have positions out there in the industry.
Mhm,
So they're a valuable resource as well. So, having time with your instructors to say, here's something I'm thinking about. Have you ever heard
mhm,
anything about that? They may have ideas for you or,
mhm,
words of wisdom or words of caution to take into account from the beginning so that that can be developing all the way through.
mhm,
One thing that we also do, this is more of an internal thing that we do as an institution, is called an employer summit. So we reach out to industry, you know, businesses in our industry, that participate in holistic health in some way and could potentially employ our graduates at some point. And we bring them in and just pick their brain, take some time to say, hey, what are you seeing out there as new trends in the holistic health and wellness world?
mhm,
What do we need to do to make our graduates more prepared to be the top selection in that field? Is there anything new that we haven't heard about yet that's going to be the next big thing? And
mhm,
that really helps us inform our own curriculum to make
mhm,
sure that it's always refreshed and current. So very valuable resource there. And that's, bringing in the external community into our institution to benefit our students.
mhm,
Um, but the biggest thing I think, or the thing that I think makes us all the happiest is our commencement ceremony. So one of the things that you hear from students that have been to online institutions is, man, I wish I could have gone to a graduation, Um, and you don't have to come, but we do have a physical commencement ceremony that we always have a great group of students show up for and bring their family, their friends to celebrate with them. And that's a lot of work goes into graduation. It's a rigorous program of study, so we want to make sure that there's something to sell, a great celebration at the end of that to recognize that. And it's really the happiest moment of the year for us to see all of those students celebrating with their family and kind of bringing their community into ours and vice versa and seeing how it all stitches together. So,
mhm,
um, that's just part of the timeline as well that we feel like is the ultimate goal, really. So, uh, such a fun time. And then lastly, like, it doesn't stop there. We want that community to extend out into the world after here. So our alumni support network. So we have what's called the ACHS mentorship program. If you're a student or a pending graduate or a new graduate and you just want to bounce some ideas off of someone that's been to our school and or has signed up to be a mentor with
mhm,
our school, we can help connect you with those people to, again, just like your instructor, just ask questions. What did you do when you left? How did you turn this into what you're doing now? So, we want that to be available for our students and our alumni, but also if you're on the other side of that coin and you want to mentor someone, we want that for that to be an opportunity for you as well. So you can pay that forward to students that come behind you. So great program there. Ambassadors, same kind of thing. Um, you know, ambassadors are they could be students or alumni that are just representatives of ACHS in their own community, um, and looking for opportunities or events that we could be a part of.
Mhm.
That's how we continue to um, to just be a part of not just the Oregon
Mhm.
local community, but all over the world.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that,
Yeah,
Amanda?
I'd say the conferences are a big one. Is we're very involved in a lot of the professional organizations in the industry. We try to encourage and support students in attending, whether it's live or virtual, depending on the conference. We try to do meet and greets if we can in the different areas. And then we have a lot of students and graduates who enjoy submitting papers or research and will attend the conferences as someone who's presenting. So that's also a way we want to support students in continuing to build their holistic health community, but maintaining it with the college. And so our program deans and professors are incredibly supportive of students, whether it's getting those presentation materials together, nominating them, or supporting you and helping you build your confidence to like submit that paper to the next conference and helping you prepare if you get selected to present it. So it's just always, how can we build that community from the beginning through the end so you're always in touch and have those like-minded people, the same passion and thread to really serve your communities, right? And your family to maintain that. And you feel like you continuously have that support. So it's really awesome.
So hopefully that sort of illustrates from a high level how we think about this. How does each department along the way contribute to the community of our students? And now we're going to kind of look a little bit more in detail about some of this stuff, and break it out a little bit. You'll see some examples of some of the things we're talking about here. You will get a copy of this presentation afterward. There's some links in here that we've included so you can, look up more information. It's almost impossible to get all of the information we want to get in here into this presentation. So a lot of it is just a couple of examples, but then a link to something that you can go do some more research on. So let's talk about that. We mentioned that we want to lead the advancement of experiential online learning. What does that mean? So, Amanda, do you want to kind of start
Yeah.
off by, what do we mean by experiential learning?
Yeah. So this is my favorite. It is hands-on practical learning and experience. We want students to not just get the science and research behind what they're learning. We want you to do it. We want you to learn how to do case studies. We want you to actually work with the herbs, the essential oils, understand the different diets and protocols in the nutrition realm. So we provide curriculum where a lot, and I want to say a lot, most of assignments are based on that hands-on learning. So you will find most of our classes have full kits and materials that are shipped to you every semester to provide you this experience. So you're making herbal teas, remedies, tinctures, essential oil blends and sprays, and um, you're using that science and the theory and the research to actually make that happen and then be able to, be authentic and educated and really be able to explain what you're doing and why. So when you're ready to go work with clients, and your community, you can, in an intelligent manner and confident manner, say, I'm going to make this recommendation and here's why. And it's not you graduate and you're like, ooh, I want to recommend this herbal remedy, but I don't even know how to make it. You've already been there and done it. So, yeah, it's a really amazing way for people who also need the mix of learning styles to grasp the material. Because reading is so much different than watching a video and then actually getting to play with it. Just
Mm,
a whole different experience. And
mhm,
I find that's something Doreen, our founding president, has felt strongly about since she really created the college 47, 48 years ago, is she wants you to do it, not just read about it.
right.
So that's the entire foundation of our programs. And I don't believe there's any other school that does this in our field. So it's something we're really proud of. And so you come out of your program and you hit the ground running.
Mhm. Yeah, everybody learns a little bit differently. Some people do just fine by reading through a textbook and they can retain that. That's not me. I have a hard time with that. I have to hear somebody talk about it and then put my hands on it. So, what our approach to this, you kind of think about it as see it, hear it, do it. You can see it in the book, you read through everything. You're doing that self-study on your own in an asynchronous environment on the time that works best for you. But then we have the weekly one-on or weekly Zoom sessions where you can discuss it and hear,
Mhm.
your instructors talking about this stuff and maybe putting their own context with it to make it a little bit more realistic. How does it relate to the real world?
Mhm.
And then what can we do with these kits to actually make it, you know, solidify?
Mhm.
So we've heard that from our students that the ability to actually put their hands on something is not something that they thought was going to be an option in an
Mhm.
online environment, but thanks to the work of our amazing shipping department who puts all of these kits together
Yeah.
by hand, um,
Mhm.
every semester and actually does all of the quality testing. A lot goes into making sure everything is the best quality and sustainably harvested that it can be. But it all goes into making sure you're set up from the beginning with the highest quality materials, so you know what that is like, and then have the space to actually experiment and reflect on what you're learning, um,
Mhm.
so that it matters more in your day-to-day life. So.
And I think we have an example of a kit coming up in a minute, so I'm excited to show you guys that.
Yeah,
Uh,
jump to that in a second. We'll touch on this really quick, but these are kind of ways that we integrate this experiential learning. So we talked about the lab kits. We're going to look at one of these in a second, just so you get a feel for all that goes into it. We have digital and physical content. So again, some people learn best, they on a computer screen, but some people need to have paper books. So we have options for both.
Mhm.
Um, that our team can help you make the best selection on webinars and seminars. So just like what we're doing now, Amanda and I are just kind of, again, we're so proud of our school. We just like to talk about it. And if anybody out there is kind of on the fence, we just want to share, our passion with you. But we also have webinars like the ones we have next week, that are focused on like dealing with stress, you know.
Mhm.
So that's something that anybody can sign up for. It's on our website and the events page. It's a two-part series because there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we know that. And we have the benefit of um, the minds of all these health and wellness professionals to tap into.
Yeah.
They, Jackie and Lisa are gonna lead those, and I'm signed up for them because I would love to hear kind of their approach. But
Yeah.
stuff like that, our student success seminars, how do we bring best practices to our students through the student services team?
Yeah. And we've had some amazing ones, like Amanda Latin, our dean of the aromatherapy department, has done seminars and group um, sort of like come in with your lab assignments. How can I help? They've done seminars on how to build, because a lot of students, again, we want to support your goals from the beginning with your careers. Webinars on case studies, how to build a business if your niche is in women's health, for example. So we're always trying to put things together that's going to benefit you and provide those learning opportunities that help you grow.
Yeah. Well, and another thing too, not only for our students, but our faculty and staff as well. We touched on before, being a part of your community. So all of us that work here at the school, we have time that's a part of our time off package where we can use hours to go out and volunteer in our community, and that's very important. um, so that we have the benefit of having a distributed team that's all over the country. So, we can have a lot of impact if we get out there and work in our own individual locations, but also anything that our students come up with that they feel like is important, we want to support that as well. So,
Yeah.
um, things that gatherings for any kind of health and wellness, or just support of your community.
Mhm.
We're going to look at some holistic health conference examples. That's really exciting to see our students out there like participating with these organizations. And
Mhm.
then we've touched on the career services support as well. So we feel like all of these things contribute to experiential learning and take it beyond a textbook or just a computer screen.
Yeah.
So I know this is very small. And the reason why it's small is because there's a whole lot of stuff in here. So what you're looking at right here is the practical lab kit that comes with our Aroma 101 class. Not all of our kits are this large, but they usually do contain quite a bit of material for you to work with. And you see just a huge list of essential oils that would come in that first kit. And then, carrier oils and spray bottles, the things that we know are the best
Yeah.
quality that you can work with. All
And
that gets packaged up and sent out for our Roma 101 class. And then you move into what's the next one? 201 or is it 203?
yep, 203. So every class keeps building on each other. So this helps start creating your library,
Hmm.
and you keep building on that as you go through your classes. And we also don't want you to have to worry about having to put all this together. Everything is ready in each individual lab kit. And this picture is an actual picture we got from the shipping department to give you a quick visual of like all the things that'll be included. Um, and we also want to make sure you are understand that like all of our essential oils are organic, they're third party tested to ensure no pesticides at all. And Doreen Peterson, our founding president, still sources our essential oils directly from the farmers and distillers across the world. They're very picky about what's available for students or through the apothecary shop. And that includes all of the ingredients, even the carrier oils you may work with, the herbs. So you don't have to stress about it at all. You're going to have everything you need. And I see students post a lot in our Facebook group about like how they sort the materials at home and such. So I know it's like a student once compared it to it's like Christmas every semester because you're getting the stuff you love to work with. And it's like always a big surprise. And then getting to find out what your assignments are that you get to put all this together. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. And everything from not just the aromatherapy, but our herbal medicine, nutrition, they all have kits involved. Even our math classes have a practical kit that comes along with it. Um,
Which don't be scared of math. Our program dean Lori revised our math classes, and actually she won some awards and went to a bunch of conferences this year because she wants math to make sense to what you're learning. So you guys are going to actually, students who take math in the bachelor's degree, for example, are using what they do every day in their herbal classes and aromatherapy to fulfill their math classes. And it's been a game changer because when students use the math they have to use every day, calculating, drops and measurements to create your products, that's what she's using for you guys um, to grasp the learning material. And it's been so awesome. And I think that always is a pleasant surprise to students that you're going to actually still use all the stuff even in your math class. So
Yeah.
it's really neat.
And that's just more practical learning. Like, does it make, if this is what we're teaching, can we wrap our math classes around this kind of this
Mhm.
learning? So we touched a little bit on professional organizations that we partner with, and we want to create avenues for our students to work with. This is not an exhaustive list that you're seeing here. This is just a few that I pulled off of our website. If you click on this link right here, in the second bullet, you'll go to the page that has all of the organizations listed out on it, and each one has a little description. Some of them will outline, the avenues that our students can take to seek out
Mhm.
additional certifications or
Mhm.
industry specific credentials, um, that are not part of the program, but our program leads to. So our program has been approved to get you to that level.
Right.
Amanda, do you have any detail on
Yeah,
some?
one, we love students to get involved as students. Most, if not all of these organizations have student membership options that are extremely affordable compared to the professional level ones in terms of like membership fees. A lot of our programs are aligned somehow with the professional pathways with these organizations as well. So, for example, our herbal students, depending on the program, can meet different professional requirements to start the pathway towards being a registered herbalist. Our aromatherapy students, our various programs are aligned with the different levels, with like AIA and NAHA. Our aromatherapy students can sit for the board exam with the Aromatherapy Registration Council. Nutrition students can sit for different board exams with the NANP and CCN. So it's all tied together, and we really want to inspire and empower students to get involved. And then as well, understand how their programs align with those other professional pathways, because those different paths, exams, memberships just add to your resume.
Mhm.
And we want you to also be involved and have those community connections. So it's a win-win. If you
Right.
have a particular organization or pathway, for example, sitting for a specific exam, always let your admissions advisor know that. Because again, that's going to be part of us helping you pick the right program so you achieve those academic goals, but also those professional goals at the, tail end of your program. So, yeah.
Yeah, we just want to give any opportunity we can to stack those credentials up. And,
Mhm.
as you go in, if you, like, for example, become a health coach, the more, credential and industry specific recognition that you have, the better. So
Yeah.
it goes beyond just your program with us or your degree with us, but how do we add on additional letters
Yeah.
after your name?
We had a question as you go to the next slide real quick. Sarah asked, do we have programs that only or mainly specialize in herbalism? And honestly, Sarah, we have specific programs that focus on herbalism, but we also have programs that focus only on aromatherapy, holistic nutrition, and then we also have overall health and wellness and integrative health. So for students that want to study multiple subjects, for example, herbalism and nutrition, we definitely have programs and professional pathways to help you achieve that goal. So we hit really all those major herbalism, aromatherapy, nutrition, wellness, coaching, and overall integrative health. There's something in there for everybody.
Mhm.
Mhm. Awesome. See
So
here. Mhm.
I want to touch on our student here. I'm not going to play this video, but I encourage you to watch the video when the presentation comes out. It's a little hard to hear. There's some background noise in the area that she's in, but it's a quick video. But this sort of illustrates one of our points. We had several students this year participate in HealCon, which is a conference that's put on by the National Association of Nutrition Professionals. So Autumn Smith here is one of our doctoral students. Um, she was able to join a team from multiple, I think Utah, University of Utah, was a part of it. And she joined a much larger group to study the effects of um, both factory and corn-fed farming versus organic grass-fed farming, and what actually the health implications are over time. So, being a part of some of those studies, she was able to outline what she did there. And we're so proud of our students, just even as their students already getting out there and being a part of these studies and presenting their findings at a conference like HealCon. That's just one of several that our students participate in, but just wanted to provide an example um, to take a look at. And Amanda's put a link to that in our chat here, but also I would encourage you, our YouTube channel is amazing. I think Amanda would agree with me there. ACHS TV. If you search that on YouTube, it'll take you to our channel. There is a ton of these webinars that we've put on over the years. Not everything is long form. Some of them are short videos on a particular course or a particular herb or a particular nutrition fact that we want to get out there. So if you're itching to kind of get into some content, there's a lot out there for you.
So,
Okay. And we've been mentioning this all along the way, but our faculty and staff and our leadership are really, we feel like the biggest contributing factor to what makes ACHS unique. There are not that many schools out there that predominantly focus on integrative health and wellness. And as you've heard, we've been around for quite some time and are sort of leading the way there. But where did it all start, and how do we maintain that that position as sort of the we want to be the leader in that field all along the way? Well, it all started with Doreen Peterson, our founding president, who we've mentioned a couple of times, back in 1978 in New Zealand, where she's from. Um, she started this off with just herself, just sort of a goal to bring herbal medicine, alternative forms of health and healing to the world, and not only just to get information out there, but to have people learn about it in an organized fashion. So her vision and passion on this is kind of where everything came from. And even to this day, as Amanda mentioned, she's out there all over the world meeting with distillers and wild crafters and
Mhm.
all of the vendors that we get our materials from, just to make sure that not only are they the highest quality, but they're sustainably sourced and they're ethical.
Mhm.
So all of that sort of leads into our philosophy and our vision for our school.
And then overall, something we're really proud of is it started and it's still maintained a woman-led business, which I think, let's face it, nowadays statistically, that is still rare. And Doreen's mission and values is still carried with all the staff here. So I know that's hard to put on a slide, but the people who work here really believe in what Doreen has done, what she believes in, and we all support that and truly believe in it as well. And it's like no other environment I've been at, including at colleges, where people really are on board and have a true soul and heart connection to what we do. And so it's really, we're always so proud that she's even, as the founding president, still actively involved. And you'll see her sometimes at different events, or she'll write blog articles after one of her trips. So it's really neat that she literally started as a medical professional in New Zealand, and where we're at now at almost 50 years. So it's really neat.
And once again, I put a link to her full bio there. I would encourage you to look at that. It's impossible to even fit on several slides. All of the awards that she's won over the years, her publications, everything that she's contributed to the field. I would encourage you to just read through that and see more about her. going on from there, these are our academic deans. So kind of clockwise from the top left here, we have Amanda Latin, who is our Dean of Aromatherapy. Um, Janet Ludwig, who is our Dean of Integrative Health and Nutrition. Lori Holdren, our Dean of General Education, and Judith Thompson, our Dean of Herbal Medicine. We recently did a Meet the Deans webinar a couple of months ago. It's on our YouTube channel. I would encourage you to look at that. Each one of them speaks about their field, their background, why they're passionate about what they do, what they wish everybody knew about their field, and then some of the professional organizations that they work with. So I would encourage you to look into that, and have a link here to that webinar if you want to check it out. But yes, every one of these deans here is not just presiding over the program. They are actively involved in curriculum development, teaching, leadership of the instructors, and making sure that everything meets the standards that they have out there. You mentioned Lori Holdren, her passion about math and bringing it, making it accessible to people. She kind of sees the perception of math as scary as a challenge and wants to demystify that for people. Judith Thompson, a naturopathic doctor with a focus on herbal medicine. So her accomplishments over the years are amazing. Amanda Latin, background in chemistry. And then all the things that go with aromatherapy with that. So not just the compounds themselves, but how they're made. And then Janet Ludwig, background in biochemistry, and nutrient chemistry, things like that, all contribute to where we are today. So
yeah,
so proud of them. And then again, I have to say this again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a couple examples I wanted to pull out for some distinguished faculty. We have so many faculty members that are doing such great things. It's hard to kind of talk about all of them, but just two examples that we have here. Lisa Warman was the recipient of the Pearson Excellence in Higher Education Award this past year. And then Dr. Santiago Lorenzo, Olympic decathlete, and just a champion of physical health and nutrition for many years. Won an award from the Journal of Osteopathic Medicine Innovations. So we're proud to have them on staff, and they're so passionate about what they do and their students being successful. They're working tirelessly all the time to just make sure everybody has what they need. So
that's the one thing. We work with faculty and professors that care about the students in the online environment. They know the challenges, they know what tools they can provide to support you. And it's just their passion for really being there and providing the best quality education is outstanding. And so they know what it means to have students in different zip codes, different life situations, and they're prepared for that. So that's also what has always stood out to me about the amazing faculty we work with every day.
Absolutely. So that kind of leads us into, that's sort of the academic approach and the academic staff that supports the culture that we have here. But how do we make sure that our students are supported along the way? So we've talked about that faculty support, access to your faculty, office hours, being able to schedule an appointment with them, attend the Zoom meetings if you're able to. If you're not, still getting the recording of those, so you have that sort of that audible piece of the learning for you. Our peer tutoring center, again, it's not just all about the instructors and the faculty and staff. Sometimes our students have such a varied background that they can learn from each other, and they can help each other out with different questions that they may be having. One student might be very proficient in math, but a little bit struggles with writing. And another student might be the other way around, so they can help each other out.
And it's also nice to have someone who's been there, done it.
Yeah.
been a mom or a dad. They know what it's like to be a student, work full time, and they know the experience of being a student in the classroom. So they can take all of that and make such a positive difference in supporting you. And yeah, will your academic advisors or professors can help you schedule those appointments with a peer tutor at any time.
Mhm. Yeah, and like we said before, if you need advice on, what classes should I take next semester to contribute to my degree, and what electives might support my interest the most, your student services advisor can help you with that along the way.
Mhm.
Um, our library, so much of our courses have a research component to them. And sometimes that means a paper, and sometimes that can be scary, just like math.
Mhm.
Um, we want to make sure that you have those library services as well. So if it's been a while since you've put a paper together and a works cited page, things like that, and you just want to ask a question,
Mhm.
we want to make sure you have that ability. And if it's outside of our normal office hours, we do have access for our students to a library service that they can reach out to at any
Yeah.
time to get help.
And I want to emphasize, it's not a robot. These are real librarians
Yeah.
that work through this service to provide you real life help. So I know I appreciate that because so many things we feel like we chat box, it's just a robot and it's not for us.
Yeah. I think we're running up on the end of our time, and there's so many things that we can talk about. We'll just take a look at our last slide here, and then talk about how we can support you. Um, the student support resources we've touched on, timely care, that mental and emotional support for our students. I want to reiterate that.
Mhm.
You're an online institution. Everything is centered around your computer. So tech support, if you run into problems with, submitting a paper or something's going wrong with your account, we want to have access to some support there. We talked about alumni and career services, at the end of um, your term with us, the Facebook coaching group. All of these things go towards just supporting the student as a whole, and creating that community that we started off talking about. So we won't go through all the details of how to apply, but just know that if you haven't applied yet and you want to, or if you have questions, you can go to our website and fill out a request for information form, or you can just go right in and start your application. That's gonna alert our admissions team to get in touch with you, and you set up an appointment so you can have that first conversation. If you're already in the process and you're finishing your enrollment for our fall two or our spring term coming up,
Mhm.
those are going to be here sooner than you think. So um, reach out to us if you're having trouble finding something, or if you're stuck on anything, and we can definitely help out with that. um, and Amanda's put a link to our admissions team scheduling page so you can set up a meeting directly with someone. Um, Fall two begins October 24th. Orientation starts this Friday, tomorrow. But if don't be afraid of that. We can still help you out up to the start of the classes, and just make sure that you have access to that orientation before you get started. And if you're not able to make it into fall two and get sort of an advanced start on spring, our spring term does start on January 6th. I know January doesn't sound like spring, but that's when our spring starts. So you want to register by December 6th if that's your goal, to avoid any kind of late registration fees. But another sort of soft deadline I would throw out there to you is you want to really try to be done with registration for spring before the winter holiday, just to make sure, because a lot of us are going to be, our office is actually closed for a little while for staff health and wellness. So that's something that we look forward to. But um, if you have a target in mind, I would say get done before um, that winter break at the end of December, just to make sure that we have enough time. So um, thank you for staying on with us a few minutes over time. This is our admissions team. Hopefully, we've been able to touch on what we feel like makes us unique out there in the field. We're a unique school in a unique field, but also we want how we operate and how, how all of our faculty and staff approach our students to be the best it can be all the time. So hopefully you heard that coming through and are excited to get started with us. So Amanda, anything to sign off with?
No, we just really appreciate your time. And if you have questions, again, I just always tell my students, we're here for you. We're here to be your resource. So just touch base. We're excited to support you.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.